Hi everyone, it's Rachel Briggs here. You might recognise me from some of the Women's Climbing Symposium core workshops, and as well as being part of the Women's Climbing Symposium family, I'm also part of another amazing team, and that's with United We Climb, where we are fighting towards equity in climbing. We also have some of our other members here today, so it'd be great if they introduced themselves.
Hi, I'm Yasmin. I'm a member of the team at United We Climb and also a member of Paraclimbing London. It's great to see you all.
Hi, I'm Janali. I'm based in Sheffield and I'm part of the United Climb team.
Hi, I'm Gillian. I'm based in Birmingham and I too am part of the United We Climb team.
Brilliant, thank you everyone. Yeah, as Rebecca said, any questions either throughout, Rebecca can shout out to us, or at the end, if you pop them into the Q&A, that would be great. And I also, we know that we are being joined here tonight by some of our amazing community partners. So a big shout out to the amazing Paraclimbing London, woo, hi, and also climber community as well. So brilliant climbing community. Hi everyone, and also welcome to everybody else as well. Before we get started, I'm just going to just let everyone know that we will be doing different levels of these exercises, and our teams will be demonstrating different levels between us. But anything, please feel free to adapt anything to your level or have a rest and reset whenever you need to, especially if we've got anybody who is pregnant or coming back from childbirth, recovering from childbirth or surgery, or living with or have had any injuries or instabilities. Then please listen to your body and rest as much as you like. And yeah, so I'm going to quickly show you now some of the different levels, and then we're all going to take it in turns to show you some of the exercises. So the exercises most of them will be timed, and we'll be timing for 1 minute for each of the exercises, but please feel free to go for as long as you like, 30 seconds and then have 30 seconds rest if you want, or 20 seconds, 40 seconds. I'm going to be calling out the time, but the max we'll be going to is 60 seconds, but please feel free to do it at whatever level you like. And some of our team will be going to different times as well. Also, when we do the push-ups, we'll be doing a maximum of 8 reps, but again, please do it at your level. So 5, 2, 4, 6, whatever you feel comfortable and your body feels right. So please listen to your body and do what feels right for you. Okay. And yeah, so I'm just going to quickly demonstrate to you, because two of the positions we're going to be in quite a bit is the plank position, and then a push-up, doing push-ups as well. So I'll quickly demonstrate that to you now. So with the plank, hopefully you can see me there. With the plank now, often the plank is done from our toes, and we're looking to get a flat back. So I'm just going to demonstrate now, so nobody needs to do it, but just sort of choose your level, okay? So a plank from our toes would look like that, just making sure we've got a really flat back, flat body all the way from our shoulders to our feet if you're going from your toes, making sure we're not arching with our back, so our pelvis is tucked under, or pushing our bottom up into the air like that. So we have a nice straight line from our shoulders to our toes. But you can also, it's quite intense on your wrists and your shoulders, so if you feel like you need to go from your knees, you can do that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Again, no arching of the back or pushing your bottom up. So nice straight line there. So there are a couple of options for plank. You've also got another option if you're feeling any pain with your wrists or anything like that, or shoulders, feel free to do it from a sofa or a solid chair, but obviously nothing that's going to rock or is unstable. So yeah, from the sofa you can also do a lot of the exercises like that, which is not so intense on your wrists. Again, when we do our push-ups, you've got different options. You've got the traditional from your toes, but if you have not done any push-ups for a long time, or you want a different level, you can always do it from your knees like that, or you can do it even do it from tabletop position like that, or again from the sofa. So I'm now doing a push-up off the sofa from my toes, which is fine, or from your knees, still using those pushing muscles. So we've got those different levels. So when we do the exercises, please choose what's sort of best for you, or you can adjust this throughout as well. Okay, we're going to start off with a nice warm up. We're just going to do some, shrugs and some warming up our wrists from in a tabletop position. So from your knees and your hands, and we're going to just start off with some shrugs. So with the shrugs are going to go, imagine we're pushing the top of our back between our shoulders up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to sink in down our chest towards the floor, keeping our arms straight. So we're pushing up and down, shrugging those shoulders, and we'll do 10 of those. Up and down, pushing up high towards the ceiling. Okay, brilliant. Okay, and then while we're in this position, we're also going to warm up our wrists. I'm going to do something which I do for warming up in handstands as well. So little circles with your body. You're in a tabletop position again, so your hands and knees on the mat, and then you're going to do circles with your upper body, circling around, gently pushing into your hands and pushing into the mat through your hands, circling. That's going to start to warm up our wrists. Fantastic. And now I'm going to take my hands out to the side, and we're going to do a rocking motion. Again, in tabletop, hands out to the side, to each of your sides, and then just rock gently over. Obviously not pushing, so you're going to feel any pain or too much, but just a gentle warming up of those wrists with a little bit of pressure through. And now I'm going to take my hands, so my fingers are towards my knees, and a gentle rock and a backwards and forwards, just very gently, not so you're feeling any pain or pushing too much into it, just a little warm up of those wrists. Okay, so while we're in this position, come up onto your knees, and we're going to do a walkout from our knees. And a walkout is we're going to pivot from our hips, and we're going to get our hands down onto the mat. Then you're going to walk your hands forwards until they're underneath your shoulders, and we're in that got that flat back again. Now lift up to look at the ceiling, so you're in a cobra position, and then push back into a child pose, back into tabletop, and then bring your hands in. Okay, so you can do that again, or if you feel like that's okay, you can do it from your feet. So stick with the tabletop if you want, but this is sort of a next sort of level. So again, pivoting at our hips, our feet on the mat, and then bring your hands down to the mat, and you're going to slowly walk those hands out. So we're into plank position. And again, looking up to the ceiling into cobra position. I think it's cobra. And then back again, and start to push we're into a sort of downward dog position, and then push with your hands, walking your hands back towards your feet. And up, and then one more time, doing the same again. Hands on the mat, walk those hands out towards the end of the mat, keeping your feet where they are. Into plank position, then into cobra, looking up and your hips towards the mat. And then back into downward dog. And then pushing back to come up to your toes again, and then standing up again. Okay, and then, oh yeah, back down to hands and knees. And we're just going to do a cat-cow, so we're really warming up all our spine. With a cat-cow, you're in your hands and on your hands and knees, and I'd like you to look up towards the ceiling as far as you can, getting a nice curve in your spine. Look up and then turn and put your head down, and you're pushing your back up towards the ceiling, and then look between your legs or towards your toes and getting a nice curve with your spine. And then back again. We'll do that a couple of times, back into looking up to the ceiling, and then curl under and look between your knees, and back again, really warming up that spine. Brilliant. Okay, so that's our warm-up. Oh, one last thing, sorry, not quite finished yet. One last thing, we're going to warm up our glutes and activate our hamstrings. We're going to do a lunge, standing up, and we're going to do one leg forwards into a lunge, and we're going to go down into that lunge. Once you're in that lunge, give me 5 circles with your arms round. 1, big circles, both arms together, forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then back up, and you're going to swap over legs, so the other leg forwards, and lunge forwards, and then go back 5 times, circling with your hands or your arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Brilliant. Okay, that's our warm-up. So please do remember, if you have any questions, do pop them into the Q&A, and Rebecca will shout out. So over to Yasmin for our first 2 exercises.
Hi, so our first 2 exercises are going to be focused on our glutes. For our first one, you want to be again in that tabletop position. So hands flat on the floor, on your hands and knees. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift our leg up behind us, bent, like this. And then you're going to slowly bring it through towards your elbow. And if you can, touch your elbow as well. And then you're going to swap and do it with the other leg. So sort of alternate legs. Or you could do half with one leg and half with the other leg. It's up to you what probably feels best. Yeah. So Rachel's going to give us a shout with the timer. And
Okay, I'll start the timer, and I'll let wet people know when we're up to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and swapping over and things. Okay, so starting the timer now. And that's 20 seconds. And that's 30 seconds, so swap over if anybody's doing one leg and then the other. I'm alternating. And that's 40 seconds. And that's 50 seconds. And that's 60 seconds. Well done.
Right, so that's our first exercise. Our second exercise now, you might want some more room to the sides of you because we're going to go with our legs out to the side this time. So the aim of this is to sort of make a rainbow behind you with your legs. So Rachel's going to show you side on, I'll show you front on. So again, we're going to do, this one's probably better to do one leg at a time and then go to the next leg. So you're going to start with your leg all the way out to the side as far as you can get it, nice and straight. You're going to bring it behind you. Remember to keep it high as if you're making a rainbow. And then you're going to get it all the way to the other side, crossed over and flagged on the other side. And then bring it back round, keep it nice and high, make that rainbow arch. And we'll go for 30 seconds on each side. This one's probably better to keep going one side and then swap at 30 seconds.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I'll start the timer now. And nice big arch. Side step, then flag. That's 20 seconds on that side. And that's 30 seconds and switch over to the other side. That's 20 seconds on that side. And sit, that's it. Well done, everyone. Hey, brilliant. And Janali, your turn, I think, is it?
The next exercise is going to be planks. So we're going to start off with a front onwards plank, and you can either go from having your palms face down on the mat, or you can do it from your elbows. And to make this easier, you can have your legs further apart, and we'll hold it whatever you're comfortable to hold it from 30 to 60 seconds. So Rachel will start the timer.
Okay, and starting our plank now. Remember, nice flat back and straight line from our feet to our shoulders. Not dipping in the middle or pushing up. Okay, that's 20 seconds. $30. Remember, you can swap over to your elbows if you need to, or onto that sofa. And that's 40. And 50. And that's 60. Well done, everyone. One.
Next, we're going to do a side plank. So you can have your feet stacked, or your feet one in front of the other, and we'll hold 30 seconds, 60 seconds on one side, and then we'll swap to the other side. And make sure that your hips aren't bent in or like bent upwards, straight line. So we'll start at the timer now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and 30 seconds started on this side. That's the 15. 20. 25, 30, swap. $40, oh, that's 15 seconds, 20, 25, and 30, well done. Whew. That's hard. Okay, oh yeah, my go for my for this next one. We're going to be doing a Russian twist, and you're welcome to use a weight if you want. But if you're new to this, it's probably worth having a go without a weight and maybe building up to it. I've got my nearly 5K wooden owl, so I'm using that because my kettlebell is 10 kilos. I can't do with that. That's way too much. So with a Russian twist, there's different levels. So you've got your feet on the floor. You're sitting on the floor. Your bum on the floor, feet out in front of you, and you can lean back a little bit. And we're going to get a twist. Your hands out in front. We're going to get a twist not from your shoulders or just your hands. You're going to twist your whole torso. Okay, coming from down by your hips. And we're going to twist one side to another side. Adding a weight if you want to have some progression there. There's also different levels if you want to have your feet up in a bent position like that, doing the twist like that. Or if anybody's got really strong hip flexors, you can have a go with in a boat position with your legs out in front like that. And perhaps you could do legs out for a little bit, then into knees, and then feet down if you want to have a go at maybe a bit of a harder level to begin with, or vice versa. You can start off and then progress. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer, and that's 60 seconds, and we'll have a go. I've got my weighted owl helping support me. But I've been doing these for a while, so years, in fact. So good for our obliques, this one. That's 20 seconds. 30. If you do use any funny animals or anything in this one, do send us a photo. That's 40 seconds. Send us a photo to unitedwecline.com or on Instagram. Tag us on Instagram. That's 50 seconds. We'd love to see. And that is 60. Well done. Okay, I'll put owl out of the way for now. Next, we're going to have 30 seconds in a dish and then straight into 30 seconds into Superman. So I'll just explain dish and show you some different levels for that, and also Superman. So basically, dish is on our back, lying flat. You're wanting a nice pencil position, all straight arms out above your head, legs out straight, feet together. So I often clamp my legs as hard as I can to really engage my glutes here as well. Really good whole body tension. And when you're on the mat, lying flat on the mat, your back, you want your middle of your back pressed into the mat. So you're going to roll your pelvis under for this, and nice flat back. And you're going to put your legs out, flat and straight, and your arms. So this is our dish position, lifting your legs off the ground and your arms off the ground very slightly, or you can go higher. Your higher with your legs will be slightly easier. if you want different levels, you can try just your arms or just your legs, or a bit alternating, or feel free to go down and up and reset as much as you like. Okay, so it's quite intense, this one. So that's dish. Then we're going to go into Superman on our tummies. Can you see me there? Hope you can see me okay. And again, we're going to get that straight arms out in front, legs together, clamped together, engage those glutes. You're going to lift your legs off the floor as much as you can, and your arms off the floor like a Superman, like, or Superwoman in this case. Yeah, we're going to hold those both for 30 seconds. Again, just do your arms or your legs if you want to build up to doing both at the same time. And feel free to reset as many times as you like. Starting in dish then. And I will start the timer. Remember, nice flat back, belly button to mat if you can, pulling that belly button right in, flat back. Okay, starting the timer now. If you find your back coming off the mat, go back down and reset. That's 20 seconds. 25. And 30, switch to Superwoman. Renamed it. And that's 15. 20. 25. And that's 60. Good, cool workout. Good backhand. Well done. Back workout there. Okay. Next is Gillian.
Right, I'm going to demonstrate push-ups. Rachel showed us the variations earlier, which is on the sofa or something else that won't move as you're doing it. Push-ups, as we know, they're pretty much just like plank. So arms shoulder width apart, and we're going to keep the back nice and straight. And we're going to just go down with the elbows to the floor and back up again. And we're going to do that 8 times, or however many times that you can do it. As I say, you can do it from the knees, or you can do it from the sofa. I'm really out of breath. Stretching.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So we'll count to 8, but feel free to do 1, 2. You could maybe try 2 from your feet and then go to your knees if you want. So we'll count. We'll be going to 8, but feel free to do as many as you feel is right for you. Okay. Remember as well, nice flat back here, and not bum too high. Or okay. So I'm gonna have a go at doing 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so the next exercise we'll do will be pretty much the same, but I mean, if you're on a mat, depending on how wide your mat is, you can put your hands either side, because we're going to do wide push-ups. I think activating more of the more tension across the chest. Am I right, Rachel?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, engaging more of the chest.
So yeah, same again. We're going to do 8. Do as many as you feel comfortable with, or you can do, and also with the easy variations, just to make it easier for you if you need it. So
brilliant. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can do 8 again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, well done, everyone. Well done. Well done, team. That was great. We're just going to do some stretching now. Grab a quick drink. Do a little bit of stretching. Feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A now, or we'll have some time at the end as well. And then also do get in contact if you want any variations of those. And next week we are going to be doing some similar exercises but different ones. And yeah, so there'll be some slightly harder, more harder techniques and slightly harder exercises, or sort of more complicated exercises next week. But again, we will be differentiating different levels. So yeah, please do join us for those next week. Right, so grab yourself a drink and then we'll do a little stretch. And yeah, we're going to start off with, we've done a lot in our shoulders. So I love a nice child pose. So from our knees, now you can keep your knees together, or I like to get a stretch in my hip as well. So I go down and I open up my knees and go down into child pose. So your hands are out in front, straight line, straight out in front of you, and you're stretching open those shoulders. And we'll sort of hold that position for 10 or something like that. And as you feel your shoulders opening up, try and sort of sink your chest down to the mat. And you can try putting your head one side, so your ears down to the mat, and then switch it over. That gets a slightly different stretch. Any questions, Rebecca?
Not at the moment.
No, great. Excellent.
Super impressed by your ability to talk and do core. That's something I always struggle with as a yoga teacher.
It is.
I'm profoundly grateful that Rachel counted through the push-ups, because I can't.
Okay, so while we're in this, go back to your hands and knees, and we're going to do thread the needle. So take one hand out a bit in front of you, and the other hand is going to go in that space between your hand, which is further forwards, and your knees. And we put your hand under and start to put your weight onto that lower arm. And so you're pushing that arm into the mat or onto the floor, and then open up, and you get a stretch in your, a twist in your back, and you're pushing into that shoulder.
So, question from Wendy. I struggle with breathing while doing these exercises. Any tips, especially things like the dish and the push-ups?
Oh yes, I think the dish is really hard to breathe. If you feel like you need to go down, reset, take a breath in, then that is totally understandable and totally fine as well. But just remember, when you reset and you come back up again, yeah, take that breath in and make sure that you've got that flat back. And then with the push-ups, I tend to do sort of breathing as I breathe in as I come up, and out as I go down, but you can do either, switch it over. But yeah, definitely, I think with the dish, it's a really intense switch over if you're doing thread the needle to the other side. Dish is a really, really intense whole body tension, really great for climbing, move, exercise, or position. So yeah, if you feel like you're struggling with obviously breathing, just come back down and reset again. And take a big breath then.
And then another question, I think, on the dish from Chris. I have restricted spinal movement from scoliosis and surgery. So the hollow exercise is really difficult and painful. And sometimes after a certain point, as the spine moves up at really odd points, are there any alternatives for it?
Okay, yes, yeah, there are. So you can do dish. Basically, with dish, it's a really good handstand exercise, and you can do dish in standing up, and it's often to set up for a handstand. So I'll just show you. So you're wanting your flat back, so tuck that pelvis under, and you can either point your toes, or if you just got flat feet on the floor, imagine you're squeezing your legs together, squeeze your glutes, clamping your legs as much as you can, that flat back, so make sure that pelvis is under, arms up above, and what you want when you're pushing your arms up, try and get your arms to touch your ears, okay, so there's no space, so you're pushing up into imaginary, as if you're pushing right up into the ceiling, and just holding that position with that flat back is like you're doing a dish on the floor, but in a standing position. And this is often what you want in a handstand movement. So you can do that and then relax, and then relax everything, and then go back into it. Make sure you got the flat back, and push up to the ceiling as much as you can, and clamp those legs tight. And that is basically a dish standing up. So it's a bit easier to breathe in that position as well. So hopefully that, and also you could do just the legs, just the arms, and then hopefully over time you can build up to doing piecing it together as well. Okay, I'll just go into the next stretch. We're going to go into Cobra, really stretching out those our hamstrings. So with Cobra, go into your plank from your knees though, and then put your hips down towards the mat. They probably won't touch the mat, don't worry about that, just down towards the mat, and then look up towards the ceiling, and set your shoulders, they'll probably be up near your ears, so set your shoulders down, back and down, and look back up towards the ceiling. That's sort of going to stretch out our hip flexors really nicely. Hold that, and then push into child's pose. Child's pose here. Again, I like a good child's pose just to reset.
So while you're in child's pose, Emma's got a question. With the child's pose position, I'm very high off the ground. Are there other stretches which could help me open up my hips in addition to doing the child's pose? Well, Emma, you can come to yoga class tomorrow at 1 o'clock. You can sign up on the website. Rachel may also have an answer.
Yeah, so with child pose, you don't have to have your hips open. I chose to have my hips open. So actually, child's pose is really like it's actually opening up your shoulders, but I kind of double it up with the so you don't have to, you can just go back onto your feet like that into child's pose like that, rather than with your legs out and getting the hips stretched. But yeah, to help with, if you do want to build up to that stretch, so on the sofa your arms are higher, you can get a bit of a sort of wider stance with your hips, but you're not having to go right down to the ground. So from the sofa, you can then start to open up your shoulders in child pose, but your hands are higher. So like that. That's what I do. Hope you could see that. So my hands were higher. Okay. Oh yeah. So our last stretch, we're going to do our lat stretching. But also our obliques at the same time. So one hand up, if you can get it behind your head or behind your back, and with the other hand, if you can, pull your elbow towards the other side. Okay, so one hand's up behind your back, like so, and then I'm pulling this way, so the opposite way. Pulling that, and I'm getting a nice stretch down my lat there. And if you want to extend that a little bit and get an oblique stretch, you can bend to the side as well. So you're kind of doing a bit of a crescent shape. And then you're getting an oblique and lat stretch at the same time. But feel free to do one or the other. You don't have to.
Not
combine
a
it.
question, but just a nice point from Pilates always. Point of interest on the breathing. Exhale, effort. You will always take a breath in. As we exhale, we engage the natural elastic recoil of our abdominal wall and pelvic floor. As women, utilizing this support for the pelvic floor is a good idea.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Breathing is not, yeah, I think it's something I need to probably work on more, to be honest. So yeah, thank you for that. Okay, yeah, so I switched over while Rebecca was just talking there. So I switched over, so the other hand behind your head or behind your back, if you can, pulling to the other side this time. And then if you want to do an oblique stretch as well, make that crescent shape over to the other side, opposite side, that you're pulling, that with the opposite side from your elbow that you're pulling. Excellent. That's fantastic. That's our last stretch. So yes, a bit of time for any more questions. But also people, please feel free to get in contact with us if you think of anything at a later date as well. So don't worry if you're, yeah, I'm not the quickest at typing, so I wouldn't necessarily think everybody will be able to put stuff into the Q&A now, so feel free to contact us. So but yeah, any questions, any more questions for us or any of our team?
I've just popped the link in the chat there.
Yeah,
and it looks like we haven't got any more questions.
oh, I know, I was going to say, when we're recording this, so people can watch it again and build up to those, maybe build up over time, and we'll also put an explanation. We'll write all the exercises. I'll send those over to Rebecca so she can put those in the notes. Is that possible, Rebecca, when you put it on?
Absolutely.
Online? Yeah, so you'll be able to refer to those notes as well. So
Couple more questions is in the Q&A if anybody from the United We Climb team would like to take those.
Yeah. Okay, do I need to see it?
I can.
Sorry.
I can.
Can you read them out? Is that
Yeah,
all
I can
right?
read them.
Yeah.
So we've got from B, any tips on supporting wrists? I always find mine are so sore when doing plank or push-ups, etc. I can very much relate to that too.
Yeah. I don't know whether you tried it on the sofa. I think that's far, it's still a workout, still doing the pushing muscles, still the core workout, but it's, it's less intense on the wrists. So Yasmin, have you got any tips? Because you find that a similar issue. And
yeah, I think that for me it's just about really building it up. So if I say tried to do several push-ups or planks, for an extended time, I think that would hurt more. I think even tiny durations or tiny amounts, really building it up, because it is sort of about strength in the wrists, or occasionally if your wrists are maybe a bit unstable, perhaps a wrist brace might help as well, just to keep it stable while you're doing these kinds of exercises.
Yeah, definitely. And building it up kind of just 10 seconds and then a bigger rest, and build it up slowly would be definitely a tip. Or if you have any, definitely a brace if you've got kind of any
And also we've got from Pilates always has said as well, you could use a small bean bag or a strap-on hand weight under the heel of your hand, which could reduce the angle of the extension at the wrist, which unloads the joint, which is probably where you're feeling the soreness at that joint.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do the same with a bit of a pillow like that, whether that would work as well, so it's not quite as intense.
Yeah, and yeah, we had another sort of one from Lottie that also said any good exercise for wrist strengthening. So I think everyone's very much feeling the wrists.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Wrist strength. So there's the curls, aren't there? There's wrist curls that you can do with a weight. I'm just grabbing a weight so I can find one. Well, you can do it without a weight as well, but then there's that. That's something I've done in the past when for my handstands, sort of strengthening my wrist a bit with handstands. Yasmin, can you think of anything else?
No, not off the top of my head.
Oh, I know. I've just thought of something else with a band. So if you've got a band like this, something I've done. So this is, oh, sorry, you can't see there. A resistance band, bit of a resistance band. This one's quite a lightweight. And so you can do the curls up like that as well. Or one at a time. That's builds up the strength in the wrist, I found anyway.
Going to have a focus on wrists and fingers and ankles and toes, probably for yoga in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Oh, brilliant. Where would we find that? Is that just...
They'll be going up on the booking page of the website.
Brilliant.
Right. And a comment about your pillow suggestion, Rachel, is this is from Pilates always again. Pillow is not bad, but something firmer is better. So maybe a small towel, if you wanted to do it that way to unload the joint and change the angle of the extension.
Oh, good idea. Yeah. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's probably all the questions for now. So the link to the website and the social media pages will be coming around in the follow-up email, as well as that explanation that Rachel has promised you. And we'll send you a recording of this too, so you can just check in on anything else. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much to the United We Climb team for putting this on. It's great to be kicking off these workouts. And if anybody wants more, thought that they need to, or is going to practice really hard and upgrade for next week, it's the intermediate and advanced session at the same time next Monday. So we'll see you all then. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye. Thank you.